Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about vacuums in my house. So some of you may think after looking at some of my videos that the only thing that cleans my house are these robot vacuums that run around. And I do have many of them in my house, but they are not the only tool I use. And they're probably not the only tool you should use either. You see, these do a really good job of keeping your house clean, but they don't do a great job deep cleaning your house or getting up behind furniture, under couches, up around baseboards, up around door frames, etc. You get my point. So some of the other tools that I use I'm going to talk to you about today, and then I'm going to talk to you about a new tool that I just got in and I am going to start using, and I'm very excited about it. So first, the main thing that you should always have along with your robot vacuum, especially if you have carpets, is a full-size vacuum cleaner like this. Now, my vacuum cleaner of choice is this Dyson ball. This is the animal version. That's because I have 3 cats in my house. Absolutely love Dyson vacuum cleaners. I've been using them for well over 20 years. The best thing about them, if you have animals in the house and you go to vacuum, you turn the vacuum cleaner on, it doesn't smell nasty. You don't smell anything out of it. The filtration in these things are top notch. So for upright vacuum, if you have carpets, I highly recommend this guy. Of course, the drawbacks are it's heavy, and of course it doesn't want to stand up, and it's got a long cord on it. Second, stick vacuum. Found out many years ago that having a stick vacuum in your house was pretty important, especially one that would convert with multiple attachments. Now this is my Shark Rocket stick vacuum. Now, I didn't pay that much for it. I only paid a little over $100 for this, but I found myself really not using that this much. And when I asked myself why, well, I'll show you why. For a stick vacuum to have to deal with a cord, and it does have a long cord on it, but I hate cords. I really do hate cords. And so when I need a stick vacuum and I go to pull that thing out, I have to deal with cords, and a lot of times that's just not that ideal. So I find myself not using that very much. Well, that's all changed now. Roborock has announced the release of their newest cordless stick vacuum, and I have it right here, and I've been using it for quite some time in my house. This right here is the Roborock H7, and it uses a LiPo battery, so it gets good battery time, and it does take about 2.5 hours to charge up, but when it charges up, it gives you up to 90 minutes of runtime. Now, that 90 minutes of runtime is not in this configuration right here, and especially not on carpets. It has 3 modes on it, and so we'll talk about the controls here in just a second. And in those 3 modes, the battery life will vary. The thing I like the most about this, besides it being cordless, is that it is very lightweight. This vacuum cleaner weighs in a little over 3 pounds. It is way lighter than my big Dyson, and it's a whole lot lighter than that Rocket stick vacuum. And it is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than a corded vac. So don't think that a cordless vac doesn't have powerful suction. It certainly does. I also like the fact that on the 2 attachments, there are 2 motorized attachments that you can get for this. This one right here, of course, they're all very easy to detach. And this has a motor built into it right here, so you're not direct driving it from the main unit. It has the roller brush right here. It has a direct drive motor built into it. And a see-through. All the attachments really do a good job of clicking in, and they're very easy to swap out. This one is steerable, as you can see here. The wheels are a bit small. It makes it a little difficult to steer, but some of that is forgiveness for it being lightweight as well. But it does work, and it works really well on carpet and tile. Stay tuned. We'll go ahead and put this thing through some tests, and I'll show you how well it does in my carpet and tile pickup test. One of the biggest things that I like with it are the attachments. So what you're looking at here is the main vacuum attachment. If you're going to vacuum your floors, this is what you're going to use. They also provide with you a few other attachments. This is a small motorized roller brush attachment. Think about this if you wanted to vacuum your couches or your chairs, or your upholstery in your car. This is what you would use right here. And also this brush wand tool. And so we'll go ahead in just a second and convert these for you and let you see all the different configurations. There are many configurations you can use this in, Here is the crevice tool. And the one thing I really like about this is this hose wand extension right here. And let me show you what you do with it. So with everything in the H7, it's very easy to push a button and detach the main wand here, which is very light, by the way. And with this, you can directly attach any of these tools, just as simple as that. The crevice tool can go in here just as simple as that. It's just very easy for anybody. But this is the game changer for me. Now this H7 is an update of the older version, the H6, and it basically is an improvement of the H6. So if you have H6, I don't know that I would go out and run out and sell your H6 and buy the H7, but if you're in the market for a good cordless stick vacuum, I would definitely go with the H7 and spend a little extra money for it. It is improved in charging time, run time is a little bit lighter, functionalities and the features, the base, the mop attachment that's going to be coming, the mega base that's going to be coming for it are all great reasons why you'd want to skip the H6 and go to the H7. But this attachment right here, this hose wand attachment, which allows you to attach other attachments to it, like so, and allows you to get in places without having to move this thing around. You can move your arm independently. You know, think about vacuuming curtains or ceiling fan blades or on doors or blinds. This is really handy, and this is what I found myself using a lot, and it's a lot easier having this flexible like this to be able to get up your debris. So I really like this attachment right here. The stand that the Roborock H7 sits on has a metal sided base. And all of these attachments, what make them unique is every one of them have a magnet inside of them. On one end and one section of all of these attachments, these magnets mean you can stick them to any magnetic surface, your refrigerator for instance, or the side of the stand. And the stand also doubles as a charger. So if you want to use it, and I do have it on my wall, and mounted it up the other day, and all the attachments stick right to it. It makes it easy to grab them off and go ahead and attach them and then bring them right back. And so really the ingenuity that has gone into this H7 has really blown me away, and so far I highly recommend it. Now I haven't had this thing very long, but I have run it through several tests, so let's go ahead and dive into the test. So first we're going to dive into the carpet pickup test. Alright, so here we are. We have sprinkled some rice on my carpets, and as I've said before, rice proves to be quite a challenge for vacuums. This is running the H7 on the balance mode, not the strongest mode, and this is lower pile carpet. And as you can see there, it is doing a really good job picking up the rice. So moving along now to a different type of pickup test with cat litter. I have 3 cats in my house, and cat litter being on the carpet is a thing that happens. I am running this on the balance mode, not the most strongest mode. And as you can see, it did a really good job of, even on the first pass, picking up the cat litter from the floor. I want to show you a contrast video here with my Shark. This is running the Shark on the highest power mode. As you can see there, it's actually leaving some of the cat litter on the floor. In fact, as I continue to go over it, you can see little pieces of cat litter jump around as it is running over it. And I had to go over it many times. Even still, you can still see pieces of cat litter jumping around. So it did not do as good job as the cordless H7. Alright, as you can see there from the carpet pickup test, it did a really good job. And the thing is that on medium power, it does a good job. And so let's talk about the power settings real quick. In fact, let's talk about the controls on the unit itself. So when you turn it on, you do get a percentage meter on it that will show you what the percentage is of the battery being charged. After you run it for a few minutes, it will tell you an estimate for how long you have for battery life. Very handy feature. Again, you got to run the vacuum for a few minutes in order for it to estimate how much time you have left on the battery. You have 3 power modes. You have Eco, you have a balance mode, and you have a high suction mode. Now on carpets, I found that the balance mode and the high suction modes both work really well. And in fact, I think you could save a lot of battery life by just leaving it on the medium mode, the balance mode. It also has a nice lock function so that you don't have to continue to hold the trigger down. So if the lock function is enabled, you can just push the trigger once and it will stay on without having to hold the trigger. You want to disable it, you push the lock button again and it will turn it off. This thing also has a child safety lock on it. And that is something that I find is very helpful. And all of this is shown on the high resolution screen on the top of the Roborock H7. Now, to release the dustbin, let's talk about the dustbin just a little bit. It is a decent sized dustbin. It's nothing that's going to replace a standard large vacuum like my Dyson ball over here, but for quick cleanup jobs, it's enough space. And this does come with a HEPA filter, 5-layer HEPA filter, and it is, and this is unique to the H7, it is either bagless or bagged. This did come with 2 bags in the box. I have yet to try those out. I prefer bagless, so I've been using it as bagless. And to release it, you just push this button right here on the in between the handle, and it opens up over your trash can, and you can release the contents and close it back. This is one area that I think could use some improvement. The button for the release, I have accidentally pushed it a couple times while carrying it around and dumped the contents on my floor. Luckily it's a vacuum cleaner, so all I had to do is just vacuum it back up. But I don't really like the location of this release for the bottom trapdoor here. The filter is a washable HEPA filter. They do recommend you washing it and letting it dry once a week. So there is that to consider. The LiPo battery should give you long life. Like I said, the time that they predicted about 90 minutes, if you're just using it to clean like your blinds or your ceiling fans or using it with a crevice tool not in this configuration, you can get pretty darn close to 90 minutes out of it. And 60 minutes on balance mode and on, 60 minutes on balance mode and about 10 to 12 minutes is what I saw when you have it on the highest power mode and you're using it in this configuration and you're vacuuming carpet. Now if you're on hardwood floors, you don't need to use the highest mode at all. The eco or the balanced mode is plenty enough. I would only use the turbo mode if I was vacuuming up on carpets. So let's go ahead and take a look at the floor test now and see how well it did picking up on the floor. So here we are in my dining room on my tile floor. And I scattered quite a bit of cat litter on my tile floor. Again, we have cats, so this is a very big thing that happens in my house. There's always cat litter that's getting kicked everywhere. So you might have cats and you may have cat litter everywhere too. You know what I'm talking about if you do. It did a really good job of picking up the cat litter on, this is the balanced mode. And I also ran it on the eco mode. Not a lot of difference. It did require a few more passes on the eco mode, but did a good job on the balance mode on the tile floor for sure. Okay, as you can see there, it did a good job. Now, one thing I noticed on floors and on carpet is, and this is, you know, during my synthetic test, is when I went to go pull the H7 back on the floor, it does have this wiper on the back bottom of it, and it did have a tendency to pull the debris backwards towards me and not suck it up. I didn't have this problem going forward, only in backwards, and it kind of acts as a plow pulling it backwards. So in everyday life, when I'm vacuuming, that doesn't seem to be a problem. So the tests that I ran this thing through were synthetic tests, probably not indicative of something you would do at home, and certainly probably not that big of an issue. So far I have really enjoyed the H7. I highly recommend it, and I will be definitely using it as my go-to vacuum and putting my Rocket up in the closet for sure. Still use my Dyson and absolutely will still use my robot vacuum cleaners for everyday cleanup. If you want to purchase this, this is only available directly from Roborock in the Roborock store. Look at the link down below in the description for your purchase. And so I highly recommend this Roborock H7. Hey, if you have any questions, make sure you drop those below. If you think about getting an H7 or if you already have one, let me know down below. And make sure you go ahead and share this content and like it. If you haven't already subscribed, I would go ahead and appreciate it for future reviews on robot vacuums and more. We'll talk to you very soon. Thanks everyone. Take it easy. Bye-bye.